Hello there, and welcome to Cooking with Virtue and Roots, where I serve you up some spiritual bread to encourage your hearts and share recipes to help you live a full and abundant life. I am Joy, the virtuous chef, and I am back, you guys. I'm back for another season. If you want to see the previous seasons that I have done, you can go on Facebook if you have Facebook. It's from 2018 up until 2022. I have an encouraging word that I can share with you. Again, it's never enough to get God's word and an encouraging word more than too much. So you can also view the videos on my YouTube channel, which is now, that's what I'm consolidating everything to put it on my YouTube channel. And then I will have clips and bits on my social media pages like Instagram and TikTok and also Facebook. But to see the previous spiritual encouraging words that I have shared throughout the years, you can view that on Facebook under Cooking with Virtue. So I want to serve you up some spiritual bread real quick before I show you a nice recipe that I'm going to do. Hebrews 12:1, it says, therefore sin we also are compassed about so great a cloud of witness. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. That is a word that came to me this morning. I know sometimes we can have weights on us, we can have burdens. Weights and burdens are the same, but sometimes your burdens and your weights can be, friendships. It can be relationships. It can be, somewhere that you belong to, and you, or a comfort zone. It can be a burden. It can be a weight. And the message that God gave me this morning was that when you lay aside those weights, the burdens have been lifted. And this morning I definitely felt it. In my experience of having a weight, it was a conversation that I was having every day, a conversation with a friend, or you can say an acquaintance that I was having every day. And then when these conversations ended, it was kind of like a burden was lifted off of me, So sometimes people can kind of dump their baggage on you and just come to you with a bunch of baggage that they have and lay it on you like you're a dumpster. That's a weight. That's actually a burden. And God wants us to lay aside those things, lay aside those weights, lay aside those burdens that easily beset us, that easily get us all like, in a, like we feel like we're in bondage, or we feel like that we're in a bundle or something, but lay aside those weights. That's the encouraging word I wanted to just give you today, is that lay aside every weight, lay aside the burden, and let God continue to move you forward. So what I want to show you is a recipe that I'm going to be doing. I'm actually doing a pizza. Yes, I have my air on. I know I shouldn't have my oven on, but you know what? Hey, I got my air on. So with my air being on, I'm going to go ahead and show you a recipe that I'm going to be doing. And this recipe is just a salad that's going to kind of go along with my pizza. So if you heard my oven actually just beat, let me know it was ready. I have set it at 425, and I have a pre-made pizza that I bought, pepperoni pizza that I bought. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in the oven. Let me just throw that in the oven one moment. Let's see. Okay, so just going to throw that in the oven real quick. Let that cook, and then I should be able to show you guys what I'm going to do. Okay, so I have a cucumber, I have some tomato, and hopefully you can see. I have a cucumber, I have some tomato, I have some feta cheese, I have some pickled red onions, and I love these pickled red onions. They're from Mezzetta Family Company. Oh my goodness, they're delicious. They're so delicious. You can even pickle your own onions. I've done that too, and they were good. But for some reason, these are just, oh my goodness, they just make my mouth kind of, And then I have, of course, Ken's Steakhouse balsamic vinaigrette. Can you guess what I'm making? You guessed right. A cucumber salad. That is right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the cucumber up. And these is just a few ingredients you can make, even if you don't eat a pizza, you can still eat it, with a salad. So just a few ingredients, which is cutting my cucumber, So I'm just gonna cut my cucumber. Now I'm just gonna cut just a couple of slices because I don't want it to be too much cucumber. I mean, I know it's a cucumber salad, and of course, it's supposed to, you know, I guess power everything. But, and then I also like to cut my cucumbers in halves, kind of like that, if you can see. So cut my cucumbers in half. And I have cucumbers that I can save for later, so I can actually have a salad if I want a salad tomorrow or whatever I want to do. I can have a salad for then. But I do have the cucumber here right now. Okay, so we're going to put this to the side because I can have that one on tomorrow. Then I'm going to cut my little cherry tomatoes. I'm also going to have some cherry tomatoes in these as well. So my cherry tomatoes. Right, we're going to go ahead and just toss those in. So now I have my cucumbers and my cherry tomatoes. Isn't that pretty? All right, so green and red. Oh, wow. Now, let's add some white. Let's brighten it up a little bit with some feta cheese. Now, you can use any kind of cheese you want, but feta to me go good with the spring salad. It goes good with the, cucumber salad. It goes good with any kind of salad if you ask me. So we're just going to go ahead and put some feta cheese in there too. All right, so we got our feta cheese in there. So now we have our cucumber, our cherry tomato salad, and our feta cheese. Then we're going to go ahead and open the, oh, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna, sometimes these cans are so, or jars are so hard to open, but we have these here that I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of those in there. Like I said, they're so delicious. If you haven't had pickled red onion, try them. If you like them. If you like them, then yeah, continue to buy them. But you can also, like I said, you can make your own too. So I'm just putting a little bit of that in there too. Okay, so now we have, as you can see, I'm just gonna blend that in a little bit. Okay, so basically this is the core of the salad. The core of the salad is my cucumber. The core of the salad is my cucumber, my tomatoes, my feta cheese, and my pickled red onion. However, I do want to give you what I also put in there just to kind of give it a little taste, which is some seasoning. And this seasoning is dill pickle seasoning, salt, and pepper. That's all it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of this over there. Why not put the whole thing? All right, and then we're just going to stir this a little bit. All right, and the last thing I'm going to add, of course, is my balsamic vinegar. My balsamic vinaigrette. So just a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette. All right, and then just kind of toss a little bit, like so, toss it a little bit. Okay, so there is my little salad. And I figured that I'll do this one too on the message, the spiritual bread of laying aside every weight. Sometimes you don't want to eat anything too heavy, which you already know. I'll get on here and I'll show you something heavy, especially some fried foods, which I will be back to do that. But today I'm just going to have this salad and some pizza, and I'm going to call it a day. All right? But you guys have a wonderful day. Again, I am now consolidating my messages and everything on YouTube, but you will be able to see bits and clips on my social media pages like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All right, you have a wonderful day. God bless, and I will see you guys next time. I'm out, the Virtuous Chef.